So we'll just do a few different takes. And
what do I do with my hands if I don't have a pocket? I'm just kidding. But seriously, also.
Hey guys, this is Scott from the Clay Lab, and welcome to our very first product review. We're really excited to show you this particular product today. A couple quick disclosures. While we have no financial relationship with the company in question, they did provide 2 vests to us for demonstration purposes. In general, at the Clay Lab, we're going to try to review things that we either have on hand already or that we can just borrow and send back to the company. In this case, though, the vests were customized, and so you can't send them back. All other vests and accessories were purchased at our own expense, and this is going to be a completely objective review. So, we're out here at Hunters Point Sporting Clays. It's a pretty exciting day. It's our big reveal of the Bearpelt vest. We worked really hard on this with the Roden family at Bearpelt, and we're really excited to show you what it looks like. First, a little bit about the company. Bearpelt was founded and is manufactured here in the USA in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The company was founded by Eric Roden, a deputy chief with the Milwaukee Fire Department with over 30 years of experience. Eric also happens to be an avid sporting clays shooter and was looking to create a vest that maximized his performance. After researching a number of different textiles, he ended up settling on polyester due to its ability to wick moisture. This is nice both during those hot summer shoots as well as during inclement weather. Another key feature of these vests is the process of dye sublimation, and this allows the colors to be blended directly into the material and makes it less likely for them to fade over time and a little bit easier to wash in some cases. Eric and his wife Heather formally launched the company in April 2021, and in just that short period of time, they've managed to amass a really nice group of professional shooters, including David Radulovich, Kaylee Browning, and Braxton Oliver, amongst many more. So let's check these out. This is really my first experience with Bearpelt. How about you?
Same. Yeah, haven't really had a vest. Been more of a pouch guy.
Oh, that's right. This really is your first vest, isn't it?
Yeah. So
nice.
Super excited.
Nice. My first impression, this material feels really, really nice. We'll talk more about this design in a little bit, but the print quality turned out very, very nicely too. So yeah, let's see how they feel.
Yeah, the vest itself actually, not only is it form-fitting, but also allows a lot of slack and elasticity in there for layers on a cooler day. It makes me feel thinner.
Yeah, there you go. Bearpelt makes you feel thinner. So, now we talked about the overall feel of the vest, but a really important aspect with any vest, especially custom vests like these, is you want the fit to be exactly right. Once you've made a custom vest, you can't really return it. You really want to make sure that you get everything just right if you are going to do that. So, why don't you talk a little bit about your vest, because we were a bit surprised at how the measurements ended up working for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm 5'10", and what we found out would fit a little better was the tall version rather than the standard length. So once you submit your chest size and you want to get the length right, you should be able to comfortably place your hands in the pockets so you kind of relax in here.
And looking at your vest in particular, so you're a lefty, so you got the recoil pad over here. Kind of hard to see on camera. We'll show you a close-up view in a second, but there's actually a different stitch pattern here that reinforces it. But you want, if you kind of turn sideways a little bit, you want this to feel nice and snug. The other thing is that you'll notice the vest comes up a little bit higher. And so the idea there from talking to the folks at Bearpelt is that with this particular model, it actually stays more secure. The recoil pad stays in place a little bit better with this model, or at least that's what it's designed for. But they also make a V-neck if you like that look, and it's still going to stay in a real nice position for your recoil pad. But it's just a slightly different option that you have there. So with these vests, I think one thing you're going to find moving from a pouch to a vest is you got a lot more storage space now. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with you. One thing with the pouch is, although you can have a separator in between there and hold multiple shells, here now having it's 2 separate pockets, depending on what kind of shell loads you want to carry, extra chokes, etc. Maybe some spreaders. And,
yeah, I was just looking at this little pouch
pocket.
that we have here. You could probably use that for a variety of things. I think, like you said, a pair of spreaders if you're shooting, you know, fixed chokes and you want to have spreaders with you. You know, you could definitely fit a couple in there. But also Ear Pro, I think that'd go pretty well in that little slot. So, yeah, and I like the feel of these pockets. There's a little stretch to them, but you can kind of see maybe from over there on the camera, there's a little reinforced band here. They feel solid. You know, it doesn't feel like you're going to rip these over time. It doesn't really feel like they're going to wear out. So now that we've looked at the pockets, let's take a look at the back of these vests. And all right off the bat, I see these heavy-duty clips here for attaching your number at bigger competitions. And this is a good time to go ahead and talk about one thing that Bearpelt mentioned. When I was talking to the folks over there, these are very washable vests, but when you wash them, generally better to wash these by themselves, not with other clothes, because you don't want these to snag on other clothes. Now, looking at the overall design, this is where you can see a lot of the creativity that you can put into these vests. So we're able to implement our logo down here at the bottom, and over here on the sides, you can actually see, because of our overall lab theme, we've got test tubes, beakers, and you can pretty much imagine a bunch of different designs. I remember I saw one on there where a guy was from Maryland and he had that design from the Maryland flag on there. That looks super sharp. Just so many different options. And you'll see a lot of the pros out there. They work really hard to design their vests and get them just how they like them. So. A quick word about the ordering process and website. Bearpelt has a really slick, very professional website. It's pretty easy to find what you're looking for. There are a wide variety of designs that are already in there, but you can do a full custom job like ours as well. You can change pretty much any color that you see on here to fit your purposes. If you want to do an actual custom vest, there is a small fee for the designer, but it's very, very reasonable. You also have a nice selection of club vests that are available, and if you need something as inspiration, they have a really nice gallery on here that shows you what a lot of the pros are wearing, what other people have designed. It's just kind of a fun thing to look at. All right, well, let's see how these feel when you've got a box of shells in each pocket. See how they distribute the weight. So, you know, especially at some of these competitions down in the southeast United States and everything, it gets pretty hot. You're going to be pretty tired by the end of the day, so you want something that's going to be pretty comfortable and distribute the weight pretty evenly.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, one thing I look for is trying to take that weight off the shoulders and the way the pockets kind of sit. It's not as much extra weight pulling down, which is great.
For some reason,
holds 50 just fine.
It's hard to really explain. But yeah, it's like it feels like the weight is in the pockets. It's not on your shoulders. It's not digging into you. It's like you can feel the weight, but it's all right here. I would feel pretty confident using this all day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I appreciate the shells. So.
Oh, you're giving those back. Yeah, it's hard to get these shooting dynamics. I'll be taking those back for sure. Yeah. All right, well, let's see how these guns do as far as mounting, because that's one of the main purposes of a vest. So let's see how that feels. Why don't you try yours first? So he's weird, he's a lefty, so.
Clear gun. I'll tell you right now, coming from a pouch to a vest, the thing that I immediately noticed is, of course, everything's kind of streamlined now, so there's no snags as I'm mounting. You know, having lost many birds in the past, some to poor shooting and others to poor mounting, it was certainly because of the pockets here.
What?
Just kind of slides. Yeah, slides nice.
Do you feel it snagging on anything?
No, absolutely not. There's no snags here now that I get a vest, but
yeah, I think you're gonna like that aspect of things especially. So the recoil pad, even a somewhat stickier recoil pad like this Kick Ease, you know, they kind of stick to clothing a little bit more easily, and it's moving just fine. Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, what do you think? I think it's time to break some clays.
I think it's time to give it a shot on the range.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before we go and shoot, I wanted to take the opportunity to show you the other kind of material that Bearpelt offers. So CJ and I are wearing the competition material. It's more of a solid material. This is competition light. They used to call it, I think, the practice vest. I'll double check on that. It almost feels, I'd have to actually weigh it. It's almost half the weight. You can see it's a very, very fine mesh here. But because of the dye sublimation process that they use, you can see the logo still comes out really, really clear. The design on the side comes out really clear. and it just looks great. I even like the idea of ordering 2 vests, having the competition material and the competition light. At this price point, it's a reasonable option, so something to consider. After taking a closer look at the features of the vest, we were super eager to get out on the course and give them a try. We went over to the main course at Hunters Point, where they have a wide variety of targets. We also made a point of trying to shoot from a low mount, just to really show the advantages of the vest.
Pull. 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 Pull.
You can really tell when you see CJ mount the gun that the recoil pad isn't sticking on his clothing and the vest seems to be performing nicely. I would say he and I were both very pleased with how the vest performed out in the field. In addition to the mounting being a little bit easier, the weight distribution was also very nice as we were walking around. If you focus on the fabric rather than the targets that we're shooting at, you can see that the vest moves pretty well with you. And I know that's one of their taglines, but it really does seem to move with you and not against you. Now, performance isn't absolutely everything. You also, to a certain extent, want your vest to look nice, and you want it to look good while you're out there. A lot of us want it to look good on social media and pictures that we show with our friends. It helps you kind of remember the shoot better. And so I'm happy to report that we really like the way that these turned out. You do have to keep in mind that the review up to this point is from the perspective of amateur shooters. And professional shooters are going to have a different way of looking at things. So to get the impression of a professional shooter, we enlisted the help of Braxton Oliver. He's actually a member of Bearpelt's pro team, and he's in a great position to be able to tell us all more about the vest. Now, Braxton's one of the nicest, most humble guys you'll ever meet. He's always willing to help you out with advice and shooting tips. His list of shooting accomplishments is simply amazing. He is a 5-time member of Team USA. He's been the North Carolina State Champion on 2 different occasions, as well as the South Carolina State Champion on 2 different occasions. And he's been a member of the All-American team for more years than he can count. When I say this guy can shoot, you really have no idea. We were filming for a good chunk of the afternoon, and I saw him miss 1 target the entire time. This is not fancy editing. And by the way, this guy's only 24 years old. While we were out on the range filming, Braxton and I had a good long while to talk about what he liked about Bearpelt. The story of how Braxton got involved with Bearpelt is actually really interesting. He got a message one day from Eric Roden, and it turns out they both have a love for the same type of music. Within a couple weeks, Braxton was trying out the vest and loved it immediately. The biggest factors for him are the lightweight and comfort of the material. But of course, the best person to tell you about this is Braxton himself. It seems like you were moving pretty easy. You feel like the vest seems to help that out a little bit?
Yeah, I don't even feel it. I don't even feel it.
Yeah, this competition light material, you just don't even notice that you're wearing it. It's the other vest is really light. And this feels like it's about half the weight.
It is. I can tell a significant difference between them. Like I said, I really prefer this one because whether I'm wearing a t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, anything under it, I still just don't feel it. It just feels like I'm wearing a shirt.
And everyone should notice you're wearing a t-shirt and it's like 32 degrees out here. I'm impressed.
Yeah. No, I'm not much of a cold weather shooter, but I don't like to be real bundled up when I shoot.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
DC. Pull.
So how long have you been shooting with Bearpelt?
Not quite a year. Not
Okay.
quite a year.
Nice.
I got the first one, I believe it was the Southeast Regional at the Meadows, so just shy of a year.
Okay, cool. And I think you mentioned this is the vest you picked up at the Nationals this year?
Yep, so I picked up this one at Nationals, and as soon as they handed it to me, I put it on. And less than an hour later, I was on the main event, and there's no break-in time with these vests. So as soon as I put it on, it just fit perfect.
Nice. And I noticed you got the V-neck there too.
Yep.
So that you've got the type that goes up a little bit higher, but then you got the V-neck like that one. So
Right.
that's pretty cool. Yeah. How do you feel like the recoil pad feels to you?
There's zero bunch to it. I can put, like I said, it just feels like I'm wearing this regular t-shirt without the vest. So Whenever I mount the gun, the vest doesn't bunch up at all. It just feels like a plain t-shirt.
Awesome. Awesome.
Now that all the data is in from both the amateur and professional standpoint, I'm ready to deliver our final verdict. The first point we wanted to make is that these vests are extremely comfortable. We tested them out under a variety of conditions. CJ took one to a shoot with him and wore it all day and really liked it. The second thing is the ease of customization. Anybody can go on their website and design the vest of their dreams. Finally, these are made in the United States by a company in Wisconsin. They're wonderful to deal with and very deserving of your business. We thoroughly enjoyed the process from start to finish, from designing the vest with Heather to talking about it on the phone with Eric, and finally to testing it out with Braxton. With this in mind, I can highly recommend this vest. Now, I mentioned before that Braxton and Eric bonded over music, and while I appreciate that genre of music, it's not quite for me. So I wanted to pick something a little bit more appropriate for the grand finale. A little known fact about me, I'm actually a classically trained musician. I went to college on a trombone scholarship of all things. So, with that in mind, we're going to include one of my all-time favorites. The original included some cannon fire in the background. Discovered I looked as awkward as possible in that last video, and so that's why I cut to a voiceover for the whole thing, because then I could re-record it over and over.